Hi, this is Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes, the premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about an obvious mistake that I see so many stuck job seekers make in their resume. So I want to talk about it might be obvious to me, frankly, but it's probably the not so obvious executive resume mistake that you might be making, which is prompting you to be stuck in your job search, and I want to fix that for you today. So that job mistake the resume mistake that I see a lot of job seekers make at all levels, although most of our focus is with executives and doing their resumes, I see this mistake as a pervasive mistake that is made, at all levels, is first, people aren't speaking to what the employer needs. That's the main mistake. I want you to remember that this whole entire job search process is really a marketing exercise, and you need to focus on what your buyer, right? In a marketing function of a company, you're focusing on what the buyer needs. And in this case, the buyer is the hiring manager. And so by not focusing on what the hiring manager needs, you're really missing the mark. And you're only appealing to a smaller group of people instead of a larger group of people by shifting what you do to speak to what the employer needs. So the main mistake that I see people make is they write their documents, resumes, profiles, cover letters. Although today's video is really focusing on the resume, it's really about all the documents. The common mistake that I see is that people aren't writing to their audience, and instead, how they execute this mistake, which kind of leads to the second point, the way most job seekers who find themselves stuck execute this mistake is they speak to what they're most proud of. And there's nothing wrong with speaking necessarily to what you're most proud of, but if you lead with that and you're not factoring in what the employer wants, you're kind of in an echo chamber. You're just saying, this is what what I'm most proud of. This is what I've done that's so great. And again, brag, you want to obviously promote yourself, but you need to precisely promote yourself. You need to promote yourself in the context of the audience reading or receiving your information. So you need to make sure that whatever you're proud of and promoting is going to speak to what the employer needs. So don't execute the mistake in that fashion. Make sure that you are not making the mistake by showcasing what you do in the form that the employer might want to see, or what you believe they want to see, or based on your research that they want to see. So it's an art, not a science per se, but you need to speak to what your employer needs, your prospective employer needs, or if you're going for promotion, what your employer needs, and frame and showcase your achievements, your wins, in the way that are going to be receptible, digestible to your audience, which is, again, you're either your prospective employer if you're going for a new job, or your employer if you're going for a promotion. So again, and that third point that I want to make sort of reiterates what I said in the first point, is the resume, as well as your profile, cover letters, they're marketing documents. It's not simply a list of what you've done. It's not an obituary, right? I mean, it's a document that's supposed to promote you. It's a document that's supposed to, precede where your reputation isn't preceding. So this way it's selling you, maybe where your reputation isn't necessarily preceding you. So you want to make sure that you are speaking to what the employer needs and not simply focusing on what you're most proud of. You need to bring those two things together. That is the most common mistake, the most obvious to me, not so obvious to you, resume mistake that I see stuck job seekers make, that I hope in covering it today can help you fix this. And if you want to learn more about what an interview generating resume looks like, I'm going to be holding a free training. You can register. If you go below this video, you'll see the link to register, and you can join me on that free training, and Look forward to seeing you there. If you like this video, I'm going to ask you to like it. If you know someone who can benefit from this information, maybe you see that they're struggling themselves in their job search, I'm going to ask you to share the video with them. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss next week. And if you have a comment or a question, feel free to add it to the comment section below or email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com. And I read and reply to every email and to every comment. So look forward to seeing you on the training if you're joining me. And if not, I look forward to seeing you next week because I know you're subscribing. Thanks so much. Have a great day.